Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now. Now, in the first edition of T20 World Cup, the world didn't really know what to expect from T20Is. We knew there'd be runs scored, but how many? In what fashion? Today, we recount the top knocks from T20 World Cups in the years gone by, and the way the format has evolved, we've seen some stellar knocks. My name is Tanay Tiwari. Let's get started. Now, if there were any doubts, any questions on how T20 cricket would be played at large, Chris Gayle, in the very first game of the T20 World Cup in 2007, was going to put them all to rest. 117 of 57 balls against host South Africa at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. Chris Gayle, the future global T20 superstar, was going to put on a show, one that the world hadn't really seen much of. His mishits were going for sixes. The ones that he was middling were going out of the park. It was a proper exhibition of shot making. His first ever T20I century, the first ever T20I century for any batter in the format. He started it. Yes, the universe paused. India meet Australia in the T20 World Cup semi-final. Now, India and Australia in World Cup games didn't really end well for India until this point. But at this point, one man had other plans. He had plans to change that history once and for all. Virat Singh strode out to bat. He had the confidence of the fastest T20I half-century against England, those 6 sixes. He was coming in with confidence, but here he was going to play a knock of a lifetime. A 30-ball 70 that was laced with some of the finest strokes you will ever see. 5 fours, 5 sixes, and he was just brilliant. Stitched an excellent partnership with MS Dhoni at the other end. India got to 188, a total that Australia couldn't surmount, which meant India made their way into the final, and Yuvraj made it to every fan's book of the top knocks from T20 World Cups. 2012 in T20Is for the West Indies was like the 70s and 80s in Test cricket and the limited overs cricket for the West Indies, because they had some absolute superstars in that lineup. Darren Sammy, Chris Gayle, Kieron Pollard, Andre Russell, Marlon Samuels, and Samuels was going to shine once again. This is the T20 World Cup final. West Indies are reduced to 14 for 2 batting first. Samuels says not today. He plays an excellent knock on a very tricky Premadasa pitch in Colombo against Sri Lanka at their home ground and excels. Scores 78 of 56, takes West Indies to a very respectable total on a very tough track, and then comes on with the ball and picks 1 wicket as well, gives away just 15 runs. This was the T20 World Cup final, of course, in 2012, but this was perhaps the Marlon Samuels game. From the Marlon Samuels game to the year of Virat Kohli. 2016 was that year where Virat Kohli, everything that he touched turned to gold, and sometimes beyond as well. He was in that kind of form, and India relied very heavily on him. India taking on Australia in what is a virtual quarter-final for them. Australia put on the board 161 for India to gun down. With the bat, India did have the best of starts. Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, Suresh Raina all could not really contribute that much, which meant all the responsibility of chasing yet another total down was on India's chase master Virat Kohli. He first stitched a partnership with Yuvraj Singh, then with MS Dhoni, and the hallmark of his knock was he was running like a bull out there. He was converting the ones into twos, twos into threes, and threes every time he knew that he had to hit a boundary, he got a boundary as well. But the equation was very tight for India. Of the last 3 overs, they needed 39 runs. In came Virat Kohli's beast mode. He hit 4, 4, 6 off James Faulkner, and then in the very next over off Coulter-Nile hit 4 boundaries. And just like that, the game was over before even Australia could strategize around Virat Kohli. And that's the kind of impact that Virat Kohli had in 2016. Those iconic images of him going down on his knees after that exhilarating chase will always remain iconic, just like this knock against Australia. Now, Mitchell Marsh, the name has a lot of promise, has had it for the longest time, but it just hasn't resulted in performances as much as Australian fans would have liked. There was one more opportunity for him, the T20 World Cup final of 2021, 170 odd to chase for Australia against New Zealand. Aaron Finch is gone, Mitchell Marsh comes in to bat at number 3. This was his stage. This was the time where that promise could really turn into performance, and this time around, Mitchell Marsh did not disappoint. Good partnerships alongside Warner, alongside Maxwell, and he ensured that in a crunch chase, he stayed there till the end. A 77-run knock of just 50 balls, Marsh was in his elements and how, and made sure that he kept the New Zealand bowlers at bay and brought home the first T20 World Cup trophy for Team Australia. That's how our list looks for the top 5 knocks in T20 World Cup so far. Does your list look different? Would you have liked to add another batter there, add another knock? Don't forget to share it with us across all social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you.